What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You're now watching Kinetic Outcome, and we are with Rachel Haslam, Olympic weightlifting coach.
That's it.
Pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to meet you guys.
And by the way, before we start, we have a donut. They're huge, lovely dog that will be walking around the house. So if I'm petting in the video or she's petting, don't mind us. But anyway, a quick question is an introduction of yourself. From where you were born and growing up.
Okay, so I was born here in Hong Kong. I am now 30 years old, but I spent 6 years of my life in London where I was studying, but most of the time I was just here. I actually studied French literature at university, which did not transfer to my life currently at all, now that I am a weightlifting coach. But yeah, I've been through a lot. So even before we moved into fitness, like I actually worked as a magazine writer for a really long time. So everything I always wanted to do ever growing up was anything to do with marketing, arts, sort of languages or writing. So I did sort of fall into what I wanted to do for a while, but then I reached a quarter life crisis and decided, okay, what am I doing with my life? And then sort of transitioned into fitness by accident. Yeah.
But that's a cool thing. Normally what you did not plan is what becomes planned.
And I think you sort of follow your passions more. It's just kind of like when you do reach that point where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think the next thing that you would think of doing would be something along the lines of your passions, I think. So that's what happened.
So did you always have a passion for what you're doing now? I mean, related to health and fitness?
I've always been sporty. So growing up at school, the only extracurriculars I did were actually sports related. So I was never forced to do tutoring when I was a kid, or I tried music for a while. So I know you like music, but I tried it and failed quite epically.
Which area though?
So, well, I tried to play the piano.
I played too.
And it didn't work out very well at all. So I got to about grade 2, and then I remember my piano teacher just saying to my mom, okay, no, like, she's not very good at this anymore. But I wasn't even hurt by it because I was like, I did not enjoy it. So I was doing tennis, swimming, horse riding, all of that stuff at the same time. That's the stuff I enjoyed, so I grew up doing that. But even when I finished school and when I went on to working, I did go to the gym a lot. So it was not, I didn't just discover fitness when I became a trainer. It was a long time. I was just always doing fitness stuff in the gym, that kind of thing, yeah. So it just sort of happened because I knew it was a passion beforehand. I was always doing it.
Was it because for me, I love gym, right? And I always love staying fit because you get this high, if that makes sense, and you always feel good and you're just sharp and more active and energetic. Was that partly what you were chasing when you were staying fit?
Well, do you know what? It did make me happy because if I'm to go into it a little bit more personally, I did struggle with depression sort of when I was a little younger, and it used to be, so exercising used to be a way for me to get away from everything. And actually it was one thing I really liked to do to, focus and not think about anything negatively, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. It gave me something to put energy into. So I was doing that also for, like you said, to have better feelings, or it would make me feel good for a while, that kind of thing. So it would give me something to chase, if you like.
Do you get this thing where when you look at the mirror, oh, that looked better than last month?
I mean, yes, but
you start shaping up better.
Yes, but
I get it. So
one thing about us is that we like eating a lot too. So one thing, we do like exercising, but we're not very good at the diet portion of it. So as much as we'd like to look super ripped, it's not going to happen.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. I never competed, but I heard what they go through.
It's
pretty tough.
It's tough. That's the side that I don't think I could do. But yes, all the fitness stuff, you give me a hard workout, I can do it.
Okay. So to get back to your turning point, I don't know if this question will make sense, but was there that Like, what happened in that moment when you had that, I must switch? Like, what triggered it?
Okay, so...
And then the process of transitioning.
I had absolutely no intention to do this. It actually fell upon me by accident. So I had met Jimmy, my partner now, and this was when I was still working at a magazine job. So we met each other. He was already a trainer, and obviously I started spending more time with him and all of that, and our schedules didn't really align or anything. So I was sort of losing interest in what I was doing. So I kind of blame Jimmy. I blame, but also thank for what happened. But I lost focus for what I was doing at work. So much so that I decided to leave the job. So I decided to leave the job without a backup plan, which was a bit silly. So I did that just to spend more time with him. But what I did, by accident again, because I was in the process of looking for another job, but I didn't want to be unemployed. So I tried to get any job I could that I could do whilst looking for another job. So I fell upon a gym receptionist job. And I thought maybe during that time, I'd be able to look for the job I really wanted. So I was a gym receptionist. And obviously, because I'm surrounded by people in the gym, I'm surrounded by the gym and people who are working out all day. It was actually, and I already knew everything about working out. It was actually my bosses at the time for the gym I was working at who suggested maybe I do my PT certificate. They're just like, why don't you just work here, right? We could even, take you on and be one of our trainers. And I thought, okay, yeah, maybe I'll just do that. And that's how it happened. Really.
Okay. From then onwards, then the doors opened.
Yep, the doors opened and I've never looked back. So it was great.
Okay, that's awesome.
All worked out.
Next question is, what was rewarding and at the same time your challenges in the transition?
Okay, so if you're talking about what's rewarding and what's challenging in this industry, there's a lot, but for me personally, I would say things that are rewarding, easy. It's basically when my clients are happy. When they're happy, they make progress. I feel like everything that we're doing has some positive impact on them in any way. Like I even have a client who told me, she's quite a lazy person, but she does come in. She keeps coming, and she said, I keep coming because guess what? After we've been training together, I don't have to take antibiotics for my sickness anymore. So even things like that is something that I find super rewarding. Challenging. A lot of things are quite challenging. I would say the scheduling is very challenging. So now that you work in the fitness industry, you have early starts, late finishes, random hours in the middle of the day, so you don't really have a routine going. Also working a lot of hours because we, as trainers, when you don't work, you don't make money. So you're basically you just have to keep working to make money. So the income is not stable, I would say. And I guess sometimes within the industry, you get a little bit of, you get a little competition sometimes and all of that kind of thing, or pressure to be a certain way, especially in the fitness industry, right? Like look a certain way or do something better than somebody else, that kind of thing. I would say that's a bit of a challenge, but yeah, mainly that's what I would say.
Okay, the next question will be quite related to that.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think Hong Kong's approach to your industry, of Hong Kong's approach?
So you mean, do I think of it?
Just the whole...
What do I think of it?
The whole city in general, and how do you feel it has improved, or what do you feel would improve if you implemented something? Okay.
I would say the fitness industry in Hong Kong is really picking up, and it's really picked up, I think, ever since social media became like a thing. Before that, because I was working out way before I think Instagram started and all of that, and I remember being one of the only very few girls in the gym, especially lifting weights, right? And I think that is changing. So now more people are deciding to come into the gyms, more females as well deciding to go into strength training. So this is what I think is really good. It's a really good change, but Hong Kong's still slower than other places. And I think, one things that could change maybe are some, I don't know, maybe better knowledge. We've got to put more knowledge out there for people who are afraid to do certain things like lift weights, because I think this is still, in the Asian culture, your Asian moms will tell you, don't lift weights because it's dangerous, that kind of thing. But I think we need to change this sort of thinking, and I think that would help the industry massively. I think everything's really picking up and it's getting good. That's why we're very busy now, which is great. Yeah.
And probably excites you. Same for me though.
For sure.
Next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully all of this is over.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we don't mind. We can also look at the
Hi.
camera. So either way, both ways.
Yeah.
So for the next question after that is, what advice would you give to people who would like to pursue something that you have achieved?
So like get into my industry sort of thing. Okay. Advice. I would, good advice and it can be, I would say really think about it. So what I do is great and it's awesome, but really think about it because there are some challenges to this. I wouldn't do it if it's what you think might be something fun. Because a lot of people come into it thinking, oh, maybe because I become a trainer, I can relax a bit, I can work out more, I'll have more time to do that. No, if you actually want to make money, you'll be working a lot. You're actually working a lot. Your hours are all over the place. I would also say if you were coming into this industry from another job, if you had a stable income once, you won't anymore. So that's a downside. So I guess if you're prepared for that, then okay. Also, it is difficult at the beginning to build a client base. So I would suggest if you were going to come into this industry, start at a gym first. Don't start as a freelancer. So I would actually work for a gym first. Allow the gym's clients to come to you. And maybe once you've found enough clients, you can eventually leave. So those are some things. Also, practice what you preach. So I think people are now smart enough to see, let's say, you called me an Olympic weightlifting coach. But what if I was an Olympic weightlifting coach who didn't actually do weightlifting? I just had some kind of certification, right? I think clients can actually see, oh, okay, she doesn't actually do it herself. I won't come to her to learn it, right? So I think getting certifications is great, but I think you've got to actually practice everything that you do. And people have got to see that you're doing it, to trust you as a trainer, to teach them, that kind of thing. And I guess, prepare for some really, really early hours and really early starts. Yeah.
Okay. Well, an additional in-depth question to the building clientele base. Let's say if you had the chance to do it all over again from scratch, but with your knowledge now and the same fitness you have today, how long do you think it would take you to build that clientele where it's more stable, consistent?
I would say it doesn't take that long. Mm-hmm. If you did work for a gym, it wouldn't take that long because most of the time I think this is not how it went for me, but from speaking to Jimmy and knowing a lot of people in the industry, some places, let's say commercial gyms like Pure, they will push clients towards you. Do you know what I mean? So you'll get quite a few at the beginning because you get referred lots from new members and that sort of thing. But I worked for a boutique gym at the beginning, so not a big commercial one. How I got a lot of clients was running classes for them. So when you run classes, you're exposed to quite a lot of people at once, and they kind of get to know who you are, and maybe if they like your energy or if they like what you're doing, they'll start coming. It's slow for the first few months, but I think within about half a year you can get a pretty decent client base. Well, that's what happened for me. So I don't speak for everyone, but that's what happened for me. So it was quite quick. Yeah. But yeah, definitely work for a gym first. Don't start out as a freelance. that's difficult. Yeah.
Unless if you do have the network.
Unless you have a network. If you already have a network somehow, sure. But if you absolutely don't, and you're like, oh, okay, fitness is new for me, I don't know anyone, you better work for a gym. I would say.
Okay. And after that, what makes you unique in your approach?
I would say, because there are quite a few other Olympic weightlifting coaches in Hong Kong. We're not all better than each other, but I think, the way we coach is different. I think I'd like to say we like to create a community. So as much as we want to teach weightlifting to people and make people progress, we love hosting our classes. So one thing that we really like doing is the Barbell Clubs is what we call them. So they're classes for Olympic weightlifting. And all the clients get to know each other. They start enjoying being together as they work out. So we've created this massive community. So I think that's our pull factor. We have a big community. And also, I think as both of us actually do weightlifting ourselves, so like I said, practice what you preach, we teach the way we learn ourselves. If that makes sense? So we can kind of empathize with the clients and their progress. So, sometimes when a client is struggling, like, oh, I can't do this, because it wasn't so long ago when I was a beginner, I remember what I did and I try and teach people that way. So from my own experience, rather than from the book, I guess I would say. That could be unique, I'm not sure. But that's how I do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's from you, that's already unique. Yep. And next question. It could be more than one. Who do you look up to most?
So, I'm not the kind of person that idolizes other people. But if I look up to someone, I would say Jimmy, my partner, because he is basically the reason I've continued doing this. And he works so hard, and I could not actually do as much work as him, I think. He works about 13-hour days, 6 days a week, because he's so committed to the client. So I think I look up to him for that, and I look up to my parents because they didn't initially support what I was doing. So at first, I have the Asian parents, right, who are a bit like, you went to university, you studied French literature, and now you're in the gym. What is up? So at first they weren't very happy, but now they are supporting me quite a lot, and that kind of touches me. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of look up to them for that. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think this is the second last question. In the process, parents, you mentioned, didn't support you at first, but now they do, right? How is it like, in general, in your transition for your support and naysayers?
Wow. So actually, we have a lot of people on our side. We have a lot of support. I told you, we've built this massive community, but I think it's because for us, what's so important is connecting with the clients. So we don't see them as clients, we see them as friends. And I think that's what's helped us gain so much support. I think, like I said, I think we're not the best, but I know that at least we're all fun to hang out with, and that we're very friendly, and you will be happy working out with us. So I think we've gotten support from that, our personalities, but there are always going to be people that don't like what you do, who are jealous of what you do, but we've tried to just block it out, because as long as we're doing what we're doing and still succeeding and still, making a living out of it, and we still got our clients, I don't think I worry too much about what the naysayers are saying. So haters gonna hate, but you just gotta ignore it.
Keep doing greater.
Yes, exactly. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep focusing and you'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah. And last question is there anything that we would probably look forward to in the next year or this year, or you want to keep it secret?
Okay, well, it was a secret, but then it really quickly wasn't a secret anymore. But we are opening our own gym, hopefully gonna happen within the next month and a half. It's a long time coming. We've had we've had so many clients for so long. And yeah, I just thought this is the best thing to do. And actually, COVID sort of made it a little bit easier because, you know, rents have gone down, and then we've got time to, no one's going anywhere. So we've had to actually have time to focus on this and get it going. But yeah, we're really excited to open our own gym.
Okay. And congratulations.
Thank you.
In advance. I'm looking forward. And by the time we launch this video, maybe that's already the time of the launch as well.
Yes, maybe, yes.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Hector Temmel, Rachel Haslam, we're out. So, kinetic outcome? Bye. That's a little different for an ending, and we have Donut. If you can identify. Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. Thank you.
And
Our aim is to provide value. So if you like what you watched, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'm also a financial advisor based in Hong Kong, so feel free to check the description box for my details and email or DM. And if ever you need video and photography services, the phenomenal videos you're watching right now are filmed by Country Mendoza. Lastly, if you love hip-hop music, rap, R&B, singing, whichever that sounds amazing to your ears, because I always do a lot of experiments with it, feel free to drop by my channel at SCF Saint or Saint Crossfade. Appreciate you for being part of this episode and more to come. Till next time.